Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another cookie show. I'm just going to call this like the vegan cookie show from now on, and we'll just make cookies every week. I don't think anyone's going to mind. Tell me if you do. Answers on a postcard, please. Okay, so let me just see. Oh my gosh, there's already so many of you here. Everyone's like, yes, it's cookie day. I'm going to make sure that I'm there and I've got all my ingredients, and then I'm going to quadruple batch it, and I'm going to have lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of cookies to eat. Good, good, good. I hope that you guys are cooking along. Do let me know if you are cooking along. So Colleen, first off the bat, not only is she a speedy rainbow guesser, rainbow spotter, but she's also a speedy Facebook Live audience. I don't know. You know where I'm going with that. Anyway, she's quick, basically. And you know what? Where Colleen is, it's like 7 o'clock in the morning, or maybe even 6 o'clock in the morning at the moment. I don't know, but it's early. It's very, very early. So, yeah, we've got Doug here. Doug says, hello, lovely people. Hello, Doug. Alex is here. Good morning. And Joss, are you going with the peanut butter option? Let me know. Lynn says, just in time, out of Girl Scout cookies. So that is something that we don't have in the UK. Well, not that I'm aware of. But it isn't like a big thing. So always like the whole like Girl Scout cookie thing, it just like seems like just something that we see in the movies. So it kind of like seems quite exotic to me. Justine says, hi everyone. Hello. Glad to see that you're really like cooking on gas, pun intended, with your coursework for your chef course with me. Annie says, hi, I'm making cookies. Hello, Annie. Have you got a little helper today? Please do let me know. Christine says, good morning. I'm cooking along as far as I can. There's a food delivery. Expected in the middle of the session. Also got a competition for the oven. Busy kitchen today. So what is anyone else making? Oh, do let me know. Doug says sorry that he missed last week. We really missed you. I imagine that you were like on a 100-mile run or something like that. That's like what you do in this bad time, right? Okay, so sorry, I'm really trying to catch up with all of these lovely comments. Okay, so yeah, Joss and Justine are cooking along. Oh, Justine is at work. Okay, so she just gets to eat them when she gets home from work. That's very nice. Oh, Karen is here. Hello. Doug is being cheeky and said, are Girl Scout cookies made of Girl Scouts? Well, it's not very vegan, is it? And he says it's a quote from Wednesday Addams. That makes a lot of sense. And Ramadas is here and says, can't wait to cook these. Thank you. Oh, well, welcome. I don't know if this is your first time, but it's definitely your first time commenting. So thank you for doing that. Okay, so really easy peasy recipe today. Thank you, Paul, for keeping count. We are on the 166th Facebook Live, which is awesome, which is really awesome. Thank you for sticking with me for this long. I promise that if you're new to this, I do actually get to the point of cooking at some point in the show. I don't just talk about it. So Justine says, I'm always at work. Boo. Yeah, that is very boo. Very boo. Annie says, sorry, I missed what you said as I was hunting for my ... Maybe she just found it and so couldn't type in the rest of that sentence. Paul says, baking along today is easy peasy. Yes, Paul, and please tell me you are double batching. Come on, Paul, I know you. You will double batch. You will quadruple batch. Octuple batch. Octuple batch. There we go. That's a challenge for you, Paul. Denise says, greetings and good morning, Chef Day and fellow foodie fans. Good morning. Annie says, sorry, I missed your comment as I'm looking for baking powder. Okay, but I don't know what comment it was. But we haven't got going yet, Annie. Don't worry. There's no cooking that has been done for like the first 10 minutes of the show. It's not going to happen, so you've got plenty of time. to gather your ingredients together, make sure that you've got everything that you absolutely need. It's quite a short ingredients list this week, so that's quite handy. I'm trying to keep these as simple as possible. Oh, Annie says she's double batching. Good, good, good. Justine says, where's the rainbow? Well, you guys have to guess where the rainbow is today. Oh, that was very like kids TV, wasn't it? I don't know how those guys have like so much energy. Yeah, so the rainbow is somewhere in the kitchen today, and there is something underneath the rainbow today. It isn't a question. It is actually something to do with something. I'm not going to say exactly what because I'll just give it away. It has something to do. It is you know, it isn't just like a random thing that I've plucked out the air. There is a link. There is a link. Okay, so Christine says, can you give guidance on when it's a good idea to soak or not soak dried fruit in a recipe? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It really, really depends on what you want the end result to be, really. Okay, so in this recipe, I don't soak them at all. But that's because I like how chewy they get, and this is the raisins. Actually, I don't know. I think I'm using sultanas raisins, whichever. Just we have sultanas in the house already, so I use those. And I like how they get almost like slightly bitter when they're cooked in these cookies, because then I think, for me anyway, it's a really, really good balance between sweet and that slight bitterness. So I really, really like it, but I understand that not everybody does. So I think in a recipe like this, if you want to reduce that happening, then soak them for maybe, you know, an hour or something like that before you actually make the cookies. But do squeeze the water out as much as possible, because you don't, if there's a lot of water in the fruit and then you mix it all together, then the water might come out in the batter, which means that the batter is going to be a lot soggier than it should be, which of course will make the cookies like a different consistency, or, you know, might come out a bit during the first bit of the cooking process when the cookies aren't too hot, and then that's going to affect the cookies as well. So in this recipe, do squeeze the water out, or the juice or the rum. I think that our Colleen might be putting rum in there. I think I saw that idea in the community hub this week. Do you take all of that out before you mix the dried fruit in with the rest of the ingredients? Now, if you're making something like a tea loaf, and I did show you guys how to do that a very, very long time ago. Tea loaf is like I think it's like real like granny food, so it has this lovely, lovely charm to it. And a tea loaf is lots and lots and lots of different dried fruit, and you actually soak it in tea, hence the name. You soak it in tea overnight, like quite strong tea, and then we mix it in with I think like gram flour, and so I don't think you actually put any other sugar in it. And with a recipe like that, we actually want all of that juice in it anyway. So, you know, so as I say, like it does depend on the recipe. But for this recipe, start soaking them like, you know, about an hour. If you are short on time, then soak them in boiling water. So, sorry, water that has boiled rather than boiling water. Don't put them in a pan of boiling water. For, you know, less time, you could probably get away with like half an hour or something like that. Okay, let me see. Oh, Justine has handily mentioned that tea loaf is in the book. So, yeah, tea loaf is in Bo's book, and that's the cookbook that I wrote with Miracle's Mission, which is the animal charity. I don't know if any of you guys who follow Miracle's Mission saw, but yesterday, Victoria, who is the owner and founder of the charity, she was actually on Channel 4 with one of the lovely disabled dogs, Danny, who is absolutely adorable. Really, really adorable. Okay, now let me see. Oh, Annie says, I like your hair like that. By the way, I have to apologise because I keep touching it and then I'm going to be making cookies. But they're just for me and Jeff. They're just for me and Jeff. It's just I'm not used to like long hair. So I keep going, oh, it's long. Oh, it's long. But yeah, I should actually wash my hands before we do this. And Justine has guessed that it's Cookie Monster underneath the rainbow. It's not, because we had the Cookie Monster before. So that wouldn't be very difficult, would it? Okay, right now, I'm really conscious that I've been touching my hair, so I am going to wash my hands. And then we will get on to cooking. So, right. Okay, so I hope that anyone who's cooking along at home has weighed out all of their ingredients. Now with the coconut oil, you can actually use peanut butter instead. You can use peanut butter instead. So I decided to see if that was possible, because I know that not everybody can get coconut oil in their local supermarket or whatever shop that they can get to at the moment, but pretty much most shops sell smooth peanut butter. So we want the smooth peanut butter rather than the crunchy, because it's going to be mimicking, you know, like the liquid that we have in the coconut oil. So we do want it to be smooth, not crunchy. And of course, if you can use peanut butter, then you can also use like almond butter and hazelnut butter and cashew butter and blah, 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 blah. So whichever butter you want to use, nut butter you want to use, just use that. Depending on your nut butter, you might need to add a little bit of water into it. So there is water in the recipe already. The nut butter that I tested this out with was quite thick. But the thing is that they will differ from brand to brand. So you will have to see what the consistency of my batter is. And if yours isn't the same consistency with your nut butter, add little bits of oil, little bits of water until it's the right consistency. So let me just say that again. So mix in the nut butter with the water that is already in this recipe, add everything in together, and just check that the consistency that you've got is the same consistency that I've got, and I will hold it up to the camera to show you guys what it should be like. And if it is too thick, then add small bits of water, but just add a bit at a time, because it's really disappointing when you add like too much liquid and it's too liquidy, and then you have to add more of like the dry ingredient, and back and forth and back and forth and back. We don't want to do that. So just add it incrementally. So that's if you are doing the substitution of changing out the oil for the nut butter. Okay, so now we can get on to the recipe. Sorry, Annie has just asked, could I use half and half? Honestly, Annie, I would say don't, because I haven't tried it out, so I can't predict. I mean, I kind of think that it should be okay, but I always think, like, for the first time, if you're not sure, then do the recipe as is, and then in the future, like, try out, you know, these like changes that we want to make. And I really don't want this to fail. I really don't want this to fail for you. So I'd say do one or the other. And then in the future, you know, once like you know like how the recipe is, how it comes out, how the batter should look, you know, that type of thing, then start playing around with it. Okay, right. Justine says, I see the rainbow, but I don't know what's under it. Cookie robots. No, not cookie robots. Paul says, I think I like the idea of substituting the coconut oil for peanut butter. Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. Either way is very, very good. Okay, right. Let's get on to the recipe. Oh, actually, sorry. Just before we do that, I'm just going to let you guys know the oats that I'm using. So these are UK grown oats from Hodmedod's. So absolutely love Hodmedod's. They don't like send me free products, by the way. They don't send me free products. I don't actually accept many free products at all because I want to be able to honestly be able to tell you guys that I really, really like this product, and it's not kind of like product placement or anything like that. So they're the oats that I'm using today, and one of the things that I do like about them is comes in a brown paper bag, which is brilliant because, you know, I used to get the gluten-free Nens that you can get in all the supermarkets, but they come in really small packages. And it is plastic. It's plastic. So I do like the fact that this is in paper. Okay, right. Let's get on to the recipe. So I'll bring you guys to the overhead camera. Yay, there we go. And the first thing that we're going to do is, if you are using coconut oil, we will melt it. Okay, so I just pop this in there. And there we go. Get that melting whilst we mix all of the ingredients together. There we go. So look, get that just to do its thing. Ew, there we go. Okay, so I've got my nice big wide bowl. So there's plenty of space in here. So this is really complicated, guys. Really, really complicated. So we need to get our porridge oats. Pop them in. 100 grams ground flour. Pop it in the bowl. Are you following this? Because this is very complicated. I'm using coconut sugar, but you can use any brown sugar. You can use white sugar if you want as well, but the brown sugar is quite caramelly. So, you know, the flavours go really, really nicely in this. And then we've got 100 grams of sultanas or raisins, or, you know, any dried fruit that you want to pop in is absolutely fine. Pop it into the bowl. And then we've got our 1 teaspoon of baking powder. And by the way, guys, I am doing a half recipe. As you guys know, I do quite often like to do that just to make sure that we're not wasting too much food. Here we go. And then we've got half a teaspoon of salt. Oh, there we go. So all of those dry ingredients in there. And I'll mix that in. And whilst I'm mixing it in, I'll see who has guessed what is underneath our rainbow today. Okay. Oh, Colleen. So it's spring under the rainbow. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, and Justine has guessed. Here we go. It's our happy spring. Because we're all so happy that it's spring. Finally. Finally, finally. Okay, so Annie says, I find it really difficult to get dried fruit unsulfured. Any suggestions where to get it? Well, actually, I'll get out the packet so that you can see the brand that I use, Annie. So, this is the brand that I use, and I absolutely love this brand. So, Crazy Jacks. Now, this was actually from Tesco. So, you know, I didn't go to like a health food store or anything like that. I just got these from our local Tesco. And I think that these ones are, yeah, these ones are unsulfured. So having a look at the ingredients, it's just organic sultanas and organic sunflower oil, and that is it. So they have really, really, really nice apricots as well. I'm a real sucker for apricots, dried apricots. And so they're all unsulfured, because sulfur does actually like affect my tummy, as it may do with you as well, Annie. Okay, so Justine is bemoaning the fact that Colleen beat her again. Of course, and Patricia is there, yay! And Josh said, does the peanut butter count as spring themed then? I think we're pushing it a bit with that. No, it's just because it is spring. It's just, I don't know, can oatmeal raisin cookies be spring-like? They feel a bit more autumnal to me, actually. Okay, so we just want to make sure that in this bowl, if we put any brown sugar that kind of like clumps a bit, that all of those clumps have been taken out, or, you know, kind of like bashed into submission. That sounds a bit aggressive for a vegan cooking show. So I'm mixing all of that together. How easy is that? So the only 2 ingredients that we've got left is our oil and our water. And just to let you guys know, the reason why I quite often use water and oil in my cookie recipes is because in my research I found out that oh, give me a second, guys. One of my cameras has just stopped working. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Yay! Thank you for bearing with me about that. Yes, okay, so what I wanted to explain to you guys was why quite often in my cookie recipes I use a combination of water and oil. Now, the reason why was because when I was researching, you know, how to make the perfect cookie, I found out that one of the things about butter is that it is oil and water. It's oil and water together. And so during the cooking process, you know, that water will start evaporating, and that will have an effect on, you know, how the cookie is, how it sets, and that type of thing. And so I just thought that, you know, adding just oil on its own wouldn't mimic butter perfectly, really. So this is the closest that I found. And of course, like with coconut oil, and I'm actually using refined coconut oil today, which doesn't have any coconut flavour or smell. Actually, the texture is very, very buttery. Very, very buttery. It's very, very lovely. Okay. Oh, I stopped again. No, I'm back. Oh, there are gremlins in the kitchen today. Okay, so Colin says my son drank the coconut rum, so I'll just be using dry sultana. Oh, how very dare he? And he says, oh, brilliant. I won't get them in the Tesco near me. It's just a small one, but there is a health food shop, so I'll try them. I hope you like them as much as I do. It's one of those brands that I just kind of like go to like time and time again because I know that their stuff is always good. And Justin says there's a refill hub on delivery. How cool is that? Is that for Crazy Jacks? Is it? That's amazing. Annie says, have you added the fruit? My mind is all over the place this afternoon. No worries. Yes, I've added everything apart from the coconut oil and the water. The coconut oil and the water. I'm just a bit distracted because I'm really, really delayed today. I'm really delayed. So like I can like watch myself live, but like from a few seconds ago. It's kind of freaky. It's kind of freaky. So yeah, Annie, in here we've got the oats, the gram flour, the sugar, the raisins, the baking powder, the salt. Okay, so I'll just recap. Oats, gram flour, sugar, raisins, baking powder, and salt. Okay, right. So once we've got this all mixed together, now we can add our coconut oil and also our water. Now I'm just going to grab my baking tray from behind me. There we go. So just make sure that you've got a nice wide baking tray, and you can make, you know, more uneven ones by just spooning the mixture out. But if you want them to be a bit neater, then get a bowl of water, because we'll be able to mould them with our hands with the help of a bowl of water. But this is going to get quite sticky, so you will need a bowl of water. If, like me, you are a bit pedantic about the shape of your cookies. Which admittedly isn't everyone, but there you go. Right, okay, so now I can add my coconut oil. There we go, and also our water. Okay, I'm going to bring you guys to the overhead camera. Hey, there we go, so you can see. And what you will get is at the beginning, you know, it's more like a kind of flapjack mixture. It looks like it's not really going to hold together very well, but because we've got the flour in there, the flour will mix with the water and the oil and make kind of like a gluey paste, really, and that's what will help the oats stick together. And so, you know, in the recipe I do say use porridge oats or fine oats because they will stick together more than, you know, like those really big oats. Ah, Linda's here. Hello, and let me just see if I've missed any comments. Paul says, I delayed looking under the rainbow. When I did, I immediately thought it was the spring. Having a degree in mechanical engineering, but then Connie texted the answer. Yes, she's quick. She's very, very quick. Right, okay, guys. So now we can move our pan out, our saucepan out the way. Go and get our baking tray next to us. Okay, so now we're ready to start rolling. We can start making up our cookies, and as I said, it is better just to get a little bit of water. Just bring this a bit closer. There we go. A little bit of water. So I'm putting my hand into the bowl, but then I'm just like flicking the water off. There we go. And you guys can make your cookies as big or as small as you want to. And so you do need to squeeze them together. And then make your little round cookie shape. There we go, and wet your hands. Get rid of the excess water. And another bit. Squeeze it together. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Otherwise, it won't stay together. There we go. Oh no, Annie's lost sound. She says, I'm having one of those days today. I think we both are, babe. We both are. Okay. So making sure that that first time that we've got it in our hands, we really do squeeze it together just to get it to stick all nicely. I have been guilty in the past of making my cookies far too big. So I'm going to more of an effort to make them like regular size. Okay. There we go. Oh, Linda says, Linda and John, it's my husband's cooking along Saturday. Oh, so is your husband cooking along today? Is that what you mean? Okay, so pat it down, make sure that I'm squeezing it together. There we go. I'll bring this one more up to the camera. There we go. So there you are. There you are. So you can see like it's a little bit loose. So the first thing that I do is always squeeze. I mean, I don't squeeze it so like it comes out the side, but just so that there's like, you know, enough pressure on there to bring it all together, and then make it into a rough round. But you know, if you don't wet your hands with this bit, guys, you will find that it will just start sticking to your hands, and you know, it'll get very, very messy. But you can just spoon it out. So if you're going to use the spoon method, then I recommend just getting 2 spoons. And when you do spoon it out of the bowl, just bring it up to the side. So you've got like a bit of, you know, pressure, and then onto the baking tray. Okay, guys, so now I can pop it into my oven. Now remember that I have made a half recipe, as I often do. So you will be able to make more than this. Double, in fact. So I'm just going to pop these into the oven. And as if by magic, voila! I mean, how did that happen? They're even like on a different tray. Amazing. Sorry, feeling really, really silly today. Obviously, clearly. Okay, so they go into the oven for 15 to 20 minutes. Now, 15 minutes if you want like chewy cookies, you know, chewy cookies. 20 minutes if, like me, you like more crunchy cookies. Okay, so 15 minutes if you want them to be chewy, 20 minutes if you want them to be crunchy. So that's 180 degrees Celsius, 360 degrees Fahrenheit, which is gas mark 4. That's 180 degrees Celsius, 360 degrees Fahrenheit, gas mark 4. And do put them in the on the middle shelf. On the middle shelf. You don't want them right at the top. You don't want them right down at the bottom. Okay, so let me see if anybody has any comments. Oh, Annie says she's back. Good, good, good. Let me know if you missed anything. Linda says, yes, that's it. He was feeling left out. Ah, well, he can be in our gang. He's very, very welcome. Very, very welcome. Okay, so, somebody has asked something about grinding oats. Did I miss? Do you need to grind the oats? No, no, you don't. No, 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 no. No, you don't. Oh, there we go. Sorry, Patricia. Yeah, do you need to grind the oats? I arrived late and trying to catch up. No, no, not at all, not at all. Okay, so let me just like recap, just in case, because I know like some of you like sound went off and you know you missed a bit and that type of thing. Okay, really, really simple recipe. Just like a few steps. So step 1 is melting the coconut oil. If you haven't already, that's the first thing to do. Step 2 is mixing all of the dry ingredients. So that is the oats, the flour, the sugar, the raisins, the baking powder, and the salt. Mix, 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 all in a big bowl. Step 3, add the coconut oil and the water. Mix it all together. Step 4, make it into lovely little round shapes, either with a spoon, 2 spoons, usually, you know, because it gets very sticky, or with your hands. Step 5, bacon. Step 6, eat them. Here we go. Okay. Justine says, it's not every day Joss gets a present when I'm at work. What? And Denise says, taste test, please. Yes, I'm still gabbing. I am still gabbing. I will get to the taste testing. Justine says, I'll share my goodies on the group later. Good. Yes, I am looking forward to seeing how yours came out. I mean, I think like they are just like so delicious, and I am going to eat one. That's so nice. Honestly, they're so lovely. I am going to bring these up to the camera. I find a really handsome one. There we go. This is a handsome one. Are you prepared for the handsome cookie? Hey, there we go, guys. How lovely and delicious does that look? And as I said, those sultanas or raisins or whatever you decide to use, because you know, they have darkened, you know, the sugars in them have caramelized essentially, and so they have a lovely sugary bitterness to them, which is a great match for the sugar that is in the cookies. So guys, this is like a recipe that you can totally make your own. You know, you could add lemon zest to them. If you're using coconut oil that has coconut flavour, you could add lime zest to them. That would be heavenly. You can swap out the raisins for, I think cranberries were suggested the other day, which is a very, very lovely suggestion. Chocolate chips. Any other dried fruit you want. You could either, you know, if you want to be like even more healthy, you could even put seeds in there as well. So the options are endless. You could add spices as well, like ginger or cinnamon. You could have bits of pecan. I mean, like literally, like there is just like so much that you can do with this recipe, you know, depending on like what you've got in your cupboard. So please do make them. You'll love them. Honestly, you will really, really like them. Now, Denise says they look absolutely scrumptious. Yeah, they are. And Doug said, lovely. I am so glad that you guys like this recipe. As you can see, you know, it's really, really simple. Just a few steps, just a few ingredients. And, you know, I've made this recipe. I designed it in a way that is easy for you guys to remember. So we've got 100 grams of oats, 100 grams of the gram flour, 100 grams of sugar, 100 grams of raisins. Do you know what I mean? Like that's like pretty easy to remember. Oh, 100 grams of oil as well, coconut oil. And just a word about the coconut oil. Coconut oil, because it hardens when it's cool, is great for making cookies, because it means that when these cool down, they've got this extra crunchiness and like a butteriness. So, you know, that coconut oil, when you bite into it, it will react to the heat of your body, the heat that of your mouth, and it will start melting. And so that is a really, really lovely thing to have in this recipe. So I would urge you to use a coconut oil, a refined or unrefined, whichever you prefer, in this recipe, rather than swapping it out for something like sunflower oil, because it isn't going to be anywhere near as nice. Okay, guys. So Paul is just wondering if I generally remember recipes or have to refer to notes. I really think that that's a mixed bag. I think it depends. I think some people can, you know, especially if it's something that they make like time and time and time again. But some people, you know, they maybe, you know, they're great at remembering other things, but they're not great at remembering recipes. So say for example, like, you know, when I'm creating recipes, quite often when I write it down, I'm just writing down a list of ingredients. That's it, because with the way that my brain works, I can't remember quantities. Like, I can never remember numbers, but I can always remember all of the processes that I did during that recipe. So, you know, I think it depends. It depends. So there you go, guys. I really do hope that you enjoyed making these and also eating them. And do let me know how you got on. Pictures in the community hub, preferably food selfies. I love a good food selfie. So thank you so much for joining me. Next week we are going to be making a one-pot dish. So I did mention a few weeks ago about putting onions, completely not fried at all, in a one-pot dish. So next week we're going to make a really, really like budget-friendly, hearty one-pot dish where we're not going to be frying our onions. So please do join me for that. And as always, guys, have a good day.